What's up, curl friends? It is Dr. Crystal Cunningham, clinical pharmacist, transformational curl care specialist, and the founder of Bold Culture Beauty. And today I'm here to talk to you about something that I think is often overlooked on our natural hair journeys and something that can be a significant game changer if we get it right, right? And so today, as we get into this discussion, I want to ask you a question. Have you counted the cost when it comes to natural hair care? And no, I am not talking about the amount of money, time, effort, or energy that you are spending on products, but that is a part of it. But have you counted the costs of natural hair care? The actual cost. And I think for a lot of us, when we first started this journey, we were probably misled and a little disillusioned about what it takes or would take for us to get to a place where we were actually comfortable and confident on our natural journeys. What it would take to get to a place where our curls were doing what we wanted them to do and we could feel good about ourselves and this journey. A lot of times when we dive into this natural journey, the newness has us disillusioned. We have some goals that may be out of alignment, and we expect what we see to be our reality, when in actuality, for me and so many of my girlfriends, that is not necessarily the case. And so today I'm going to ask you, have you counted the cost? And so that cost that I'm talking about is the cost of not knowing. And now, when I started my natural journey, I assumed that the cost of not knowing was specifically me not knowing how to navigate my natural experience, me not knowing how to properly care for my hair. And while that is part of it, there is a far greater cost that is unseen that we do not consider, that really makes a huge difference on our natural journeys, and that can ultimately, if we count this cost and are determined to do something about it, can change the trajectory of our natural experience. And so as we get into this discussion on what the cost of not knowing is actually costing us, I would like you to consider if you had counted the cost. Now, disclaimer, this conversation is not in any way, shape, or form designed to encourage you to not be natural. Like, why would I do that? Obviously, I love being natural, and I want so many of my girlfriends to really enjoy and embrace the fullness of their natural experience as well. That is why I created Bold Culture Beauty. That is why I'm coming to talk to you about this today. That is why I cultivated a whole environment where my girlfriends could come to feel safe to ask the hard questions and get the tools, support, and access they need to make natural hair care easy. But I am asking you this question because I know that so many of us are living in this struggle narrative. So many of us are navigating our natural experiences with a struggle mindset, with a limiting belief about natural hair care. And today I want to help you change all that. So as we get into this discussion, consider if you have actually counted the cost, and not necessarily that financial investment, but we're going to talk about that as well, but also just the entire cost of not knowing. And so when I started my journey, I did assume that the cost of natural hair care was the cost that was associated with me not being able to adequately care for my hair. And while that was part of that, I soon learned that the cost of not knowing was far greater than the shared struggles that we all probably have experienced on our natural journey. And so those shared struggles, because they are not insignificant and they are a significant part of that cost of not knowing, are things like staying in the cycle of struggle, right? Submitting to the struggle narrative and all of the baggage that is associated with it, the insecurities that we may carry from hair traumas, or for not really being able to feel comfortable and confident on our natural journey. The cost of not knowing does include the time, energy, and effort that we spend to get to a place where we can get decent curls at best, right? The cost of not knowing includes all of the old wives' tales and trends that we sometimes succumb to, or a better word would probably be fall victim to, because they work against us on our natural journey and do not help us to cultivate the natural experience that we desire, the curls that we desire. And sometimes, a lot of times, most times, girlfriends, they move us farther away from actually being able to achieve better and do better for our hair. So yes, these are the parts these are some of the costs of natural hair care, right? These are some of the costs of our natural journey. And for a lot of us, some of our girlfriends have counted these costs without even considering the cost of not knowing, and counted these costs and decided that it was entirely too much. And if that was you, no shade. You do what is best for you. But if you are still watching this video and you are still here and you are determined to get the best and do the best for your curls, then we are going to get into the actual cost of not knowing. Now, these are the visible costs of not really being comfortable and confident on our journey. These are the visible costs of not really knowing how to properly care for our hair. But there is a far greater cost, and that cost is the cost of not knowing. Not necessarily not knowing how to do your hair, not necessarily not knowing how to select the appropriate products, and not necessarily not knowing the proper steps or what it takes to care for your hair. But the cost of not knowing is what it is costing us when we do not realize that natural hair care can be easy. And some of you are thinking, girl, I know it can be easy, I just haven't gotten there yet, right? And for a lot of us, this may be true, but when we learn the truth about natural hair care and then we move into action when we are empowered with that truth, then it will change the game for us on our natural journeys. And so for a lot of us, the cost of not knowing is not necessarily the struggle, but the fact that when we do not know, embrace, accept, and take action upon the fact that natural hair care can be easy, we will continue in this cycle of struggle. We will continue in the cycle of overwhelm, frustration, and confusion, and we will continue to settle for what is less than best for us and our curls. So, curl friends, while our shared struggles are common, they are visible, they're easy to see and recognize, the cost of not knowing the truth about natural hair care, the cost of not fully embracing and accepting the truth that natural hair care can be easy is costing us far more than the visible struggles that we endure on our natural journeys. And yes, I know there's hair trauma. Yes, I know there is the struggle narrative and everything that comes with it. Yes, I know there are insecurities when we feel like we don't know how to do our hair, when we feel like we haven't achieved and done the best for our natural curls. Yes, there are struggles when we are doing all the things for our hair, when we are expelling a significant amount of time, energy, and money on our natural journeys. But, curl friends, the cost of not accepting the truth about natural hair care is far greater than those. Why? Because when we do not accept the truth that natural hair care can be easy, when we do not use that truth to cause us to question what we are doing to and for our hair, when we do not get intentional about the way we care for our curls, we then accept the struggle narrative, we perpetuate the struggles, and we settle for an existence on our natural experience that is less than what is best for us. And today, I want to challenge you to consider that cost. What is it costing you to stay in that struggle narrative, right? We assume that natural hair care is complicated because we are doing all these things to and for our hair. But the reality is that our natural experiences are complicated because we have not counted the cost and we have not considered the truth about natural hair care, which is that natural hair care can be easy. Now, when you realize or you come to this realization and you actually are spurred to action about it, realizing and noticing that natural hair care can be easy should cause you to do a couple of things. Now, these things include questioning what you are doing to and for your curls. It includes questioning what you actually know about your hair. It includes questioning the things that you believe to be true and held as the holy grail when it came to natural hair care. So, when I say that we are not counting the cost and that we are not considering the cost of not knowing, because we are not really internalizing that fact that natural hair care can be easy, we haven't pushed ourselves to the limit. If you do not want to stay in the struggle narrative, right? If you do not want to stay achieving less than your best for your natural hair, then I encourage you to take a moment and consider the cost, right? To take a moment and sit with the fact, the reality, the truth that natural hair care can be easy. And then to take a moment and consider what it means when you hear this, but do not take the intentional actions to really let that truth cause you to scrutinize what you are doing to and for your natural hair. So, girlfriends, yes, natural hair care can be easy. This is a fact. This is truth. Me and so many of the curl friends that I have worked with are proof of that. My question to you is, have you considered the costs of not really taking that statement seriously? Have you considered the cost of not really letting the light and the truth of the fact that natural hair care can be easy shine on what you are doing, what you are accepting, what you are neglecting and avoiding when it comes to actually caring for your hair? Now, my question for you is, now that you know this truth, and now that I've given you a launching pad or somewhere to start from, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to take a moment to look at what you're doing for your hair? Are you going to take a moment to consider what you actually know about your hair? Are you going to take a moment to consider the truths, and the things that you have accepted about natural hair care? And are you going to be intentional moving forward about doing better and achieving better, not just for your hair, but for yourself? Listen, identity is a big deal, girlfriends, and our hair, fortunately or unfortunately, is a large part of our identity. When we carry the burden of not feeling comfortable and confident, it affects every aspect of our lives. And so my challenge for you today is to consider the cost, right? Consider the cost of not knowing, and then consider that underlying cost of when we don't accept the truth about natural hair care, what it means for our journeys, what it means for the way we feel about ourselves, what it means for how we care for our hair, and what it means for how we show up in this life, right? Girlfriends, I want you to do the best and achieve the best, not just for your curls, but also for yourselves. So today I challenge you to consider the cost, right? Consider the cost of not knowing, and consider the cost of consider what it is costing you to not accept the fact that natural hair care can be easy, to not let that truth empower you to do better, achieve better for your curls, and to not let that truth cause you to scrutinize everything that you are currently accepting on your natural journey. Today, I want to help shine light on that, and today I want to encourage you to be intentional about taking a minute to really sit with what you know about your hair, to really sit with what you're doing for your hair, and to really sit with the narratives and stories that you have accepted about natural hair care. Evaluate them, scrutinize them, and then let this cost of not knowing, the cost of continuing to be stuck in a cycle of struggle, the cost of continuing to be burdened by complex routines, let that cost sit in, and then decide or determine if you want to stay there or if you want to do better for yourself and your natural hair. Well, girlfriends, that is all I have for you today. And I hope this message today, this talk that we've had today, has really shown some light on what it actually means, and what it is actually costing you to stay stuck in that struggle narrative, and how much easier natural hair care can be when we accept the truth and the facts about natural hair care, and then let that light of natural hair care being easy shine on every thing that we are doing on this natural journey. If you thought this was useful, if you thought this was helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And next week, bring a friend, because girlfriends, from here on out, we are really doing the work that it requires to help you get to a place where natural hair care can be easy. If you're serious about doing better for your curls, if you're serious about achieving the best for your hair, if you are serious about making natural hair care easy, girlfriends, visit boldsculture.com and connect with me. I'll drop the link below for some amazing resources. And until next week, girlfriends, go boldly.